Hello. How are you? Okay, so we are now on day 6 of this 21-day diabetes challenge, and let's just get straight into it. I think so. Let me share my screen. Put me over here. All right, so obviously the login page. So just log in. No notifications, no messages. And go into dashboard. Pick up where you left off. Just the one course. Obviously, if you were enrolled in a few other courses, then they would actually appear on here as well. But nope, I'm in here. So continue the course. All right, so I, as usual, will complete the quiz for day 5, which was yesterday. So I'll just click on next. Have I eaten a maximum of 3 meals today? Yes. Have I eaten only foods off my green list today? No. I actually had a protein bar. Thanks. So have I completed my daily 10-minute lesson today? Yes. So finish quiz. Quiz complete. Go into day 6 and it's tips for eating out. Okay, so my usual thing, I take a screenshot of that. You don't have to take a screenshot of it. I do. And I'll put that, I think that's actually my day 6 folder, so screenshot. I'm going to close that. If you're actually wondering how I got that screenshot, it is an extension. I use Chrome as my main browser. So over here, it's called the Go Full page. So you'd need to just go into your more tools, extensions. I think it's extensions. If you don't actually have it, I think I actually had it, but I turned it off and now I turned it back on again. Or otherwise, you just go into apps and is it the web store? Yeah, and then you're searching for an extension. So Go Full page. Sorry, I know this isn't to do with the challenge, but if you're just curious about what I actually have. And then I think it's this one. Yeah, so it actually says added, so I've already got it. Thanks, of course. But that's actually great. It's good for any of those screenshots, and you can do them save them as a PDF, or you can save them as a PNG image. Things. All right, so let's get back to today's lesson on tips for eating out. So I think this is more like a text. You've almost made it to the end of your first week. Congratulations. So if going out is part of your regular weekend, and we are opening up soon, so we're probably going to start getting into like going out, which although I don't mind it, I think it's actually quite good because you do feel restricted with the movement when you're in lockdown. So should be good. Go in with a plan. And as to the type of meals, right? Conscious of the fact that you know in yourself what not to eat, and then you can choose what to eat. Now, you could actually order a meal and then just decide not to actually eat some of the things that come with it. Or in this second part where it says just ask, you just can actually ask them when they bring out a salad, can you just don't put any dressing on it, any mayonnaise or any dressing, just either, just leave it like that or say put it on the side so that when it comes over, it's totally up to you. Now, obviously, the foods that you do not eat because it's your choice, you could actually just give that to, your kids or someone that's there that might want to actually have some extra serving because you don't actually eat that. So so basically it's just saying you can go out and you can eat and enjoy company, when you're dining and things. Just be aware and just do a few of those things, because you don't want to sort of like feel guilty, or feel like you have to actually you have to eat, because there's other people around you that are eating and they might think you're actually really weird, or you don't want to tell them that you're on a diet or, the healthy food. But trust me, after a while, when people are actually going to notice, and they're going to admire, and they're going to ask about, how it is that you can actually sort of, still maintain and eat this way, while you're actually looking good. And that way you can actually share with them what you're doing. So when it comes to takeaways, you got to be careful, because takeaway, they usually, the oils, and this is something that we haven't actually talked about yet, but not only do you have the low carb and the keto style, but you'd probably see it in that recommended meal plans that about the types of cooking oils that you use. So it's actually saying don't cook with polyunsaturated oils, and that's usually your vegetable oil and your canola oil. They were the big ones in our household, or peanut oil, because they just processed too much. And when they processed a lot to actually get the oil in the end, the manufacturers have ended up just adding a whole lot of stuff to it to make it sort of like taste nice and everything else. So it's just not natural at all. And usually a lot of the components that they add would be like corn syrup, corn being the main ingredient, and a lot of that is very high in sugar content. So you just got to be careful when you do actually dine out, in particular when you order takeaways, because of they might actually provide you with the good food, but the way they've actually cooked it, not good, right? Okay, so here's some tips on takeaways. You imagine going to McDonald's and just asking for a salad, right? Why bother even going to McDonald's? And just some suggestions of where to buy it. They tend to sort of have this rule when you go to the supermarket that you just shop on the outside, not in between the aisles, because in between the aisles is usually a lot of, especially for the food items, there's a lot of processed and ready-made foods and boxes and things. And when you look at not only the nutrient label, but the ingredients, there's just all forms of sugar and things that are just added to that. So usually when it's a supermarket, they just say, just shop on the outside and just go in the inside when you just need things like household cleaning stuff, Bakery tip: turn around, walk out, and look for good quality food somewhere else. Yeah, I'm going to share with you something. It's interesting because I do have a sweet tooth, which I'm working through. But the second thing is that I thought that it would be very difficult for me with the fact that I love bread. Well, I grew up with bread, toast, and just, sandwiches and putting things on bread and, all the spreads. But I found that was the most, over time, the most easiest thing that I've been able to actually sort of like not miss at all. And of course, I don't drink any of the soda drinks, nothing, no juices. So I do just drink water and the tea. But like I said, I like to bake. So when I bake, I actually, excuse me. So when I bake, I substitute the flour with almond flour and coconut flour. So they're more like the keto style things. But where it comes into, you know, dodgy for me is that when I'm baking, it's like I'd probably eat one or two every day and things, where I should actually just have it only for maybe a treat, because I never used to bake regularly anyway. So in a way, I've sort of compensated the fact that I actually don't eat a lot of the foods. I haven't eaten a potato or a pumpkin, rice and pasta for a very long time. um, so those things are out. A lot of what we say the root vegetables that are under the ground are out. And like I said, no breads, no deliberate sugary things. The only sugar component that I would ever have is if I'm eating like a whole fruit. But I don't eat a lot of fruit. But I'm getting my sweet content from that, which is natural because while it is fructose, that's what the sugar, the the sugar component of the fruit is the fructose that converts into what would it be? I actually have to check this up. But anyway, but that's what's in your body. But like I said to you, you should preferably eat your fruit rather than drink it, so that you're not actually overeating on the fruit. And then, of course, you've got to be careful about the types of fruit that you have, because you don't really want a high carbohydrate content on that as well. All right, so here's back to here. So that's a good little read. So there's not actually a video with day 6. Download this and write down your go-to meals to help you next time you're eating out. So I'll just download whatever that is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Breakfast, I don't have breakfast, so it's easy. Lunch, I do have lunch, and my lunch tends to be um, either a late lunch, or it just depends on I'm actually hungry. Um, but it's usually boiled eggs or scrambled eggs. If it's scrambled eggs, I like a couple of eggs, always a couple of eggs, and some cream, and then salt and pepper. I'll grate some cheese into the actual scrambled eggs. So it's actually an omelette with cheese. And I might actually cook up a few side pieces of bacon. And so I'll have that. Now I did buy avocado yesterday, so I'll probably have some avocado. Sometimes I'll actually have a tin of tuna, spring water, or salmon. Preferably, they say the wild red salmon is actually a good one. So that might actually be my lunch, and I might just throw some cucumber or lettuce, some salad into that. Dinner, because that is like, you're eating with the family. Lunch, we don't tend to eat lunch together here because we eat at different times. But dinner, we do tend to eat that together. So that will be, now last night we actually had schnitzel and salad. I think we're going to have a few more salads because the weather is warming up, and I quite like that. It's a nice and easy one to make as well. We don't have any dressing at all with our salads, so I think we've actually just got used to that thing. So I would do a salad, and it would be some kind of meat, red meat, white meat. Very rarely will it actually be fish. And that's just because I think I know Mel went into the butcher shop basically yesterday, and we buy in bulk, and then we just portion it all for meals. So there's a stacked freezer there of all different types of meat, and the meat would be either, it's red meat, so it could be like your lamb, your beef. So it's like, it could be rump, chops, they're nice. The what's the minute steaks? So they're thin. And what else would they be in the red one? That's probably it. in terms of, or maybe it might be like a topside steak, maybe not really often. Oh, and mince. Okay, so mince is not your lean mince; it's either premium or the beef mince, basically. I mean, just normal mince with fat and thing. Um, Chicken is, well, that's the white meat, would tend to be chicken. So they're chicken breasts, chicken wings, or chicken drumsticks. Um, that I would make either apricot chicken with the chicken legs, or I'll do them crumbed. Crumbed, I mean, with like almond flour or a few sort of like, breadcrumbs and things, but not too much. And then lots of seasoning. Um, the What else is the white meat? Yeah, so chicken breast, chicken wings, chicken drumstick. The main kind of meat, what do you call this, red meat or pink meat, is pork. And we get a lot of pork belly, pork ribs, uh, beef ribs, not really beef ribs, it's like pork ribs. And yeah, pork, pork roast, a lot of that. So we might actually get a slab of the pork belly and just actually slice it up. So they're actually strips, and then I put them in tin foil. I think you might have seen a few pictures before, and I put them in the oven. Coat it with now. Used to be I would actually rub the butter in, but sometimes the butter, you just end up using a lot of butter. So I like to actually melt the butter and then really generously drizzle it over the pork, and then season it with a lot of salt and things. And then you heat your oven up high for an hour beforehand. Um, and then you put your pork in for about like 45 minutes, or until you see that crackling, it's like quite crispy. Then you turn it down for the next sort of 30 odd minutes or so. But yeah, we love pork. And thing. All right, so it's our go-to dinner, I guess, in terms of if we were eating out. I can't remember what the last time. Now, I know the boys have actually eaten out. So while they are a bit flexible in their particular diet, they don't go overboard because they've got used to now not really eating a lot of the other things. Alcohol, well, I haven't drunk for such a long time. And I don't drink coffee anymore. So I'm pretty sort of low maintenance, I think. All right, so that's that one. And did I download that? So I'm going to download that. I think I right-clicked recipe, make your own basil pesto. So I'm going to click that. Yep, download that. And take action and connect with community. What's your go-to healthy meal when you're eating out? Click here to share yours and find out what others in the community are suggesting. Okay, because I've been doing the activity, I'm going to just do this. But like I said, I click on the field. I post in the group. I don't even know if anybody actually pays attention in this group. But anyway, that's what I do. My go-to meal eating out. Is usually chicken with salad or side dish of vegetables, dressing or gravy. I'll do. Okay, I'll do. Okay. All right, so that's the activity. Tracking your progress. Well, I'll do this at tomorrow for what actually happens today in day 6. All right. Apart from that, I haven't really used the notes aside from like the first section with introduction and welcome before I went on because I think if I go in here in my notes, oh yeah, I did it from day 1 or day 2. What did I write in day 1? I don't know. Maybe it's a general notes basically, but I haven't really done it since and things. But that is actually available for you to write notes, and that's where you actually find it. Okay. All right, so that will be it. Sorry, it took longer than usual because I was going on about other things related to this. And I will now just go back to my account and log out of that, and we're back at the screen. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you again tomorrow. All right, bye.